So for a lot being made about Lingard, he shouldn't be here, he's not good enough, what's he done, what does he do? How did you see his performance today and where do you see his role in the team?
I think his performance has been the same really for months now. His movement is good, he works hard off the ball, you've got to give him credit for that, but on the ball he simply does not do enough. He gets into great positions, he's a number 10. How many assists and goals has he been involved in the past few months? Not enough, definitely not enough. There was a stat, I know it's not about stats, but today, many times Pogba's played a few balls in between the lines to him, he hasn't brought it under control, and I just think he's not in form. He should be at least sub for a bit, maybe if not in the squad, just to give him that kick up the arse that he maybe needs. But he's just not in form at the minute. And I think for a number 10, you need to be a lot more involved in the game. And we're simply not creative enough going forward. And a lot of that does stem from Lingard.
And it's so frustrating as well because that lack of creativity, no United fan here wants to say, we told you so. But like, as soon as that transfer window shut and we didn't have another creative midfielder, me for one, I know you were saying it as well, that we will struggle to create chances. And if Pogba doesn't have a worldie, if we don't take 3 chances out of 3 or 4 out of 4 like we did against Chelsea and be clinical, we will struggle. And we saw it in large patches against Wolves. We saw it for the majority of the game against these lot today, Crystal Palace. Is that going to be just a common theme? We're not going to be able to come at teams.
Yeah, I think teams will learn from that today. They already learned from last season as well. If they're sitting against us, we're not good enough to get beyond them. We're not good enough to get in between the lines. We're relying on like a set piece, like a Rashford free kick, which doesn't look likely to happen at any point soon. Even Maguire stood over free kicks today. Even he's had enough of Rashford taking them. I just think we're relying on like an individual piece of brilliance.
We've been saying, how long have we been saying that? We said that under Jose, we used to say it under Van Gaal.
We look clueless going forwards. Palace came today and fair play, they had a plan and it worked. We look clueless. We don't look like we've got a plan. We look like we're just winging it. We're trying to just, like saying, a piece of individual brilliance. And if we haven't got that, we literally look clueless going forwards. We don't look like we're going to create anything. Today, we had most of the ball. How many clear-cut chances did we have? It's hard to think.
He hasn't had to work. The keeper hasn't had to work, has he?
He hasn't. All he did was time waste all game.
At the back, Bissaka got an early yellow card. Then there was a couple of times, I know what you thought, he was chasing back towards his own goal against Schlupp, and I'm thinking he didn't have a great game. Maguire, obviously at fault alongside Lindelof in terms of not being close enough. Is that a reminder that actually we've invested heavily in there, but we need to be patient? It's not the finished article yet.
Yeah, Lindelof, I've said many times. I said it to you, Aaron, in Cardiff. I said on the floor with the ball at his feet, he's quality. He's quick. He reads the game well. In the air, for me, he's vulnerable at times. I was watching Villa yesterday, and that Wesley up front. I'm dreading the time that he comes up against Lindelof because I think he'll absolutely bully him.
Why would Maguire not?
It should have been.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, he should be the one.
Should have been closer. He should have read it. That obviously, if the flick on was won, then he should be there to sweep up, and he wasn't. So yeah, I agree. But I do think Lindelof is vulnerable when the ball is in the air.
What do you make of the way Ollie's setting up this team? You see the second half, the urgency was there. That urgency was only there because we were 1-0 down. Obviously, it shouldn't take for that to happen for us to come out the traps. There was no surprises with how Crystal Palace were going to set up today. So they would have worked on that, knowing exactly how Roy Hodgson was going to set his team up. We know what they're going to do. And there was no urgency. I'm not saying that Ollie set them out in the beginning of the first half to say, don't press, don't have an injection of pace in the game, but it wasn't there. No, it wasn't there.
And the first half against Wolves, I thought we'd come at the blocks, we looked sharp, we looked at it. Today, we just didn't seem at it at all. And like you say, it shouldn't take for us to go goal down before we actually wake up. But it seemed like that was the case today. I thought we were asleep at the back. De Gea, all he's had to do is get the ball out of his own net. He didn't really have a lot to do. But I don't know, I worry. Daniel James scored a good goal today, but
on Daniel James, Sophia, that was a fantastic goal. At a time, I know there's a lot of negativity around, but he had a lot of responsibility on his shoulders in terms of his second start, and he was a threat. I know people have said he's had a mixed afternoon, which he probably has in the grand scheme of things, but he was a constant threat. And to do that, young kid from the Championship, there is something there. We have to look at that, don't we, as a form of positive. Yes, it might be too much to play him every single game, 90 minutes, people saying he should be an impact player, but he's got 2 and 3.
I like Daniel James, and I had a bit of stick for saying that I actually do rate him, probably more than I should. But I think that he offers something different. He offers a bit of pace, and we all know that pace is probably the hardest thing to play against. And he's electric. He always offers that threat running behind. I do think he's a bit lightweight. He looks like when he gets the ball to feet, he gets brushed off a bit. He got booked a game for diving as well, which obviously needs to be talked about. But like you say, he scored another goal. He's a constant threat. Ollie made his changes earlier today, and you can't really blame him for the lack of squad depth. He obviously didn't get players in that. He would have wanted more. But when you turn around to that bench and you have a look, you've got to say, look, realistically, have we got anybody who's going to change that game? I think Gomez should have been on the bench today. But again, we're just really, really weak in terms of the squad, in terms of our midfield. If you look at the personnel, Palace's midfield, no way should they be better than our midfield today, and they were.
And a gentleman said it over there. I'm going to ask him what he thinks in a minute, actually. But he's got a point in terms of, okay, we're not good at midfield, we lack creativity. However, you can't honestly put your hand on your badge and say that Palace's midfield is better than ours, because it's not. So we're still superior to these guys, even though for elite level we're not. But we should still be wiping the floor in midfield with what we got.
And I'm going to talk about Pogba, because I see loads of people obviously protecting him and defending him. But for our first goal, he almost lost the ball. He got lucky. He made a good recovering tackle and obviously we broke and scored. And they tried it again later on and it's been nicked off him and they broke and scored the second goal. For me, he wants too much time on the ball in the middle. Yes, part of it is him overcomplicating it because he's looking up and all of our forwards are stood in the line. He hasn't got many runners to go on. I do get that. But for me, he's taking too many touches in the middle. He's trying to do something clever all the time. He's more effective when he's playing the little 1-2s, passing and moving because nobody can stop him.
So you don't give him that excuse of he's trying to do too much, he's trying to do 2 or 3 other players' jobs because he's trying to do everything. You see it as, in fact, he just needs to simplify his game.
I think he's trying to do it all himself. He's trying to be the Paul Pogba show when it's more effective for me when he's doing the pass and move because technically we all know he's what world class is.
Look what he can do when he does create. He was part of that goal, like you said to win it back.
Someone said, "Oh, yeah, but if it wasn't for Pogba, we wouldn't have the first goal." But to be fair, he almost lost it. Zaha was nearly away. It was a good recovering tackle, yes, but it's just too risky for me, especially if he's playing in that deeper role. He takes too many risks, and against top players, you're going to end up conceding goals, and that's what's happened today.
Nice one, Soph. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
Big thank you to you guys for watching the latest of our videos, and if you want to check out more, make sure you do that just to the right of me. We are the biggest and best Manchester United channel in the world. Make sure you check us out on all of the socials as well: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and YouTube. The socials are along the bottom. Peace.